Rated T for teen.
Classic part of Dungeons and Dragons is the classic monsters that everybody kind of loves to hate. We've tried to put as many of those monsters in our game as possible. We have a gelatinous cube that swallows your characters whole. We have a beholder that, and this is a really awesome piece of technology that we built, whose eye stalks are all independently animating, independently targeting, and independently firing in all directions. It's an awesome sight to behold. I mean, of course you got zombies and skeletons. What D&D game doesn't have those? But in addition to that, we have Maryliths, we have Driders, and just if it was a monster that beat you down in D&D and you really enjoyed coming back for it, it's in this game. And I'm not kidding you, we actually did look through the entire monster manual, and I mean, what would a game like this be without a frost giant? I mean, we just really worked hard to give you, the D&D player, exactly the kinds of monsters that you would be familiar with and really want to encounter and deal with in this kind of game we have. And we've tried to put them in, we've tried to bring them to you in a way that really focuses and highlights on them. So hopefully you'll really appreciate that.
Hi, I'm Jason Torres, a designer at Liquid Entertainment. In the surface world, you're battling an army. You're battling lots of combatants. You're battling battalions, and they're forming battle lines. You've got lots of little soldiers behind captains who are right behind the champions. In the underworld, we wanted to create a different gameplay experience. One of the key Dungeons & Dragons experience that we thought we could borrow is the really big boss monster. And that's really cool things like the Horned Devil, the Umber Hulk, Hydras, and even the Frost Giant. Let me explain where that goes. With the Frost Giant, you might find some sort of cool little item or little reward, like a ring that can cast a fireball, or even your wizard who can cast some sort of firestorm spell. You can use this firestorm spell against this Frost Giant because it counters his ice kind of elemental status, and it'll be more effective than attacking him with some other attack. So when you take him on, you can have these strategies which you can discover in the underworld and use against these boss monsters.
So rather than throwing forces at the enemy and having him throw just forces at you, and you're kind of just doing this flesh wall tug of war, if you will, there's an environment to contend with. So that when you feel like you're fighting, you feel almost a little more Indiana Jones-ish about it. You feel like you're fighting within an environment that was pre-existing your arrival there. It doesn't feel like a board game that was kind of laid out for you to play on from the time you got there.
Let me give you another example, which is like an Etten, which is this kind of two-headed giant who attacks simultaneously from both sides. Like his actual heads can target different guys. You can take him on just like you would in a normal army, just throw guys at him and kind of hope it all turns out right. In Dragonshard, that's not going to turn out so well. You're going to want to use tactics because you know he can attack multiple guys. So you're going to want to take your fighters and put them up front. When you're in a squad in the overworld, it kind of doesn't really fit to kind of throw someone in the forefront. You're going to want to use your adventure party. And you're going to make sure your fighter guys, who are like a character class in D&D, are at the forefront taking the damage. That way you can move your healers behind them and get the strategy of healing and protecting your healers. Making sure your range guys are at range so they can bombard the Etten, that way he can't get close enough to take them out with his attacks. By using these kind of tactics, they really enrich the D&D experience and bring out all the bonuses and benefits of each character class as it pertains to Dungeons & Dragons. Your healers will become optimal in this kind of tactical formation. Your ranged guys won't just be kind of another attacker who just happens to shoot arrows. It actually matters where you put them and how you use them.
I'm Mark Soderwall. I'm the art director for Atari, working on Dragonshard. One of the great things about playing Dungeons & Dragons in a game environment, interactive game, is I'm used to pencil and paper. Now I get a chance to actually see what these characters really do in the environment where they are, coming out of water, bursting out of the ground, rumbling towards me, camera shaking. I really get an immersive sense of, my God, this thing is huge. Because another thing, you don't get a real sense of scale when you're playing the paper version. But whereas in the game, here's a huge Umber Hulk. My units are small, the ground is shaking, it's cracking under his weight. He's coming at me with ferocious attacks. I'm watching my units get knocked back, and I'm trying everything in the world to get this guy to his knees. And that is great fun. That's awesome.